Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 483.
483.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. It is hard to believe, but it is now Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Officially Halloween. We've kicked off Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which is what we're going to talk about. At least our first party anyway.
First of three.
First of three, yes. And but check out MEI and Mouse Fan Travel if you're looking to visit the Disney parks for Halloween or Universal. There's so much going on all around. I mean, you've got Halloween on the High Seas coming. You have Disneyland Halloween. Just so much. They are Disney specialists. Check them out.
Absolutely. And as we are getting into the show, we are at a media preview that we were invited to for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And welcoming us into the event was Madame Carlotta.
And I don't even want to call it, it's a preview, but we were about to head over to the actual party as well.
Truly a preview.
Yeah, right. And like Mickey was here in his more of a Hong Kong Disneyland outfit, and we also will show Goofy. These are not costumes that you're going to see at the Magic Kingdom.
Correct. I guess it was just for this event, which is kind of sad because, you know, it's nice for everyone to be able to see all these outfits.
And we have seen them, I think.
For the Haunted Mansion, I think when they had the anniversary of the Haunted Mansion, some of the characters met in the... I know Goofy met in his bat outfit for that event.
That's not what I was...
I think it was a 50th
that's not what I was
anniversary of the
say,
Haunted
though.
Mansion.
Like the resorts in the past have had, on Halloween night, meet and greets, and I believe we've had some of them with their Hong Kong outfits.
Also
so I would love to see that return again too. So anyway, we're checking out there's not a lot of merchandise for the party, but there is some. Now that pumpkin is extremely popular and not for the party in particular. Hocus Pocus villain, Spelltacular. Oh, and those ears are not specific to the party. But you can see a spirit jersey.
The hat, I actually purchased one of these hats on the way out of the party.
And you might get, one
get
more.
Another. It's actually a very good fitting hat. And I have a lot of Halloween events to go to, so stock up on the hats for me.
And then there's a Turvis. And we used to stock up on Turvises a lot, but now we're too stocked up, so we don't buy as many. So Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party mug.
I do have my eye on the mug. The mug is very nice, too. I like the logo.
And then there's a spirit jersey. So while it's not a huge selection, it's there's some nice stuff there. And again, you've already bought something from it.
Right.
So here is Goofy, and he is in that, again, that outfit that came from Hong Kong Disneyland. I don't know what they did there in them. Did at Hong Kong Disneyland in these outfits, if they were a meet and greet or if there was a show. But everybody loves this outfit.
Yeah, it is great. It's a fantastic outfit. And like I said, we saw it out in the park in front of the Haunted Mansion when it had one of the anniversaries.
I totally forgot that. We're going to have to kind of look that up.
So now we're going to look at some of the exclusive food items that one can get at the party.
There are so many different items. I think there's 30 items, but not just at the party. Most of them are for just the party, but there's some items that are also for any time during Halloween. So we looked at the Jack and Sally Pops. This is a buffalo chicken hand pie with spicy ranch drizzle. And then we're looking at, it's called the Tropical Graveyard with mango mousse and sour tropical gelatin and cookie crumbles.
That looks good.
And then, and the one thing is, like, there's just two of us, and so we'll probably have one thing tonight and then maybe one thing the next party. So most of this we'll never end up trying. And the Mexican spice brownie skull actually looks very interesting to me.
It sure
so
does.
I don't know if we'll end up getting that one or not. And then there is a Headless Horseman cupcake with it's a spicy cheese flavored with lime filling. Like, I don't know if that one is of interest to me.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of items, so
there's so many choices.
I have my eye on the whoopie pie, which is not being shown here. So there's also a mummy treat, which we're about to look at, filled with chocolate hazelnut filling, and I like how the mummy looks. And
it reminds me of a cookie they had at Disneyland for Halloween. Remember the mummy cookie?
Yes, I do.
Very similar.
And also the hazelnut is very Disneyland Paris. Like half of everything is filled with hazelnut there. It used to be like everything. And candy corn milkshake with sweet potato cornbread nugget.
What an interesting
Yeah.
combination there.
I don't know if we will get that. So then there is the char siu chicken wings. You're a big chicken wing fan, so maybe
Right,
you'll
that
end up
is a
getting
possibility. That is a very strong possibility for tonight.
And then there is the mini pumpkin cheesecake, and I believe that's at the Starbucks. I didn't write down the locations on these, but that looks really nice too. I'm a big fan of pumpkin. And then we're going to look at zombie fingers, almond cookie fingers with a key lime pie, white chocolate ganache.
That looks very interesting too.
It does look interesting. So
It could be good, very good.
Yeah, like
I'll have to try it.
And then also we're just going to take a look at the popcorn bucket and sipper. There was a long line for the popcorn bucket from Nightmare Before Christmas, and it really looks very cool.
Well, the Donald candy corn sipper, that is not new. They've had that in the previous years. We have one.
I thought that there was a change with it this year, but I'm not.
Oh, that's possible.
It's possible.
But this is new. This looks really cool. I'm still thinking about this. We have 2 more nights where to make that decision, I guess.
And I'm a big fan of the Nightmare Before Christmas, so we'll see.
And we had a little surprise while we were at this event.
Well, the sisters, of course, we've got Clarabelle.
Scrumptious, there she is.
She doesn't say that here. And then Minnie and Daisy, of course, coming out to kind of perform
to
here.
debut really at Walt Disney World as the Sanderson sisters. We've seen them last year at the Oogie Boogie Bash, and I know they are also on the Disney Cruise Line meeting guests.
Right, and they were supposed to debut at the Disney Cruise Line last year, but then Oogie Boogie Bash is, hold my milk.
Hold my milk. Hold my chocolate.
Hold my chocolate. And it's like, okay, well, they ended up going there first. Now, Minnie and Clarabelle and Daisy as the Sanderson sisters, they don't meet here. They met last year at Oogie Boogie Bash, but they are in the parade, so you can see them there.
Yeah, so that'll
Mickey's Booty Halloween Parade.
And we'll be talking all about that. So many changes in the parade. Also, here is Max.
Right, Powerline Max, who we thought he would be in Town Square. Now, they do pop-ups in the park.
And I saw one of the pop-ups.
Right, and but they didn't come around Town Square, which is something that they used to always do.
Right, I guess it's a pre-parade, with Max and his party crew here, but they only go down Main Street. When it comes to Town Square, they're all done. I think they do a couple performances on the parade route, but it's a little different. So if you're used to seeing them on Town Square, at least the first night, that didn't happen. But I did get to see them at the new location for the Disney Junior Dance Party, which is in Cosmic Rays, and all of a sudden the crew just kind of pops in the door and performs this exact song, and there you go. So it was truly a surprise. You never know where you're going to see them.
And here is Mickey. It looks like he has
He's got his
purple
Halloween
mask on.
That's right. It's time to actually enter the party. This was the first party, and here we go.
And I just want to say, it was insane. It's been so hot, and everybody, it's hot in July. It's like nothing.
This was the hottest party I've ever attended.
Right.
This is our 20th party, consecutive party.
You're right, like yours. I have been coming since the 90s. Now, it used to be that the party started in September. Now it was just hot.
And as you notice, we had the guide map given to us on the way. Very important. It has all the times for everything, all the information, and also all of that can be found on the app.
And we're heading on to back to Market Street, where this is your first candy, and you got your candy in your bag. And then you get an M&M's back here.
Now, this is a very, very rare occurrence for us. We actually entered the party right at 7 when the party started. That was something we would never do. We usually get there hours early, and we will be doing that tonight.
Right. There's the bag.
The trick-or-treat bag, slightly different. Last year it had a 50th anniversary on the back. This year you just have a Halloween logo.
So you're right. Today we'll be there getting in line for Jack and Sally at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, they start meeting at 4:30, so you are able to enter at 4 o'clock, and you can start doing some party activities early, and that's what we like to do, kind of get your money's worth.
Like here, you can get some photo ops, and they have those little statues of Pluto and everybody, and then there's some fun M&Ms billboards
characters,
and such,
the
or
M&M's characters.
I don't know what to call them.
I
Posters.
hadn't seen them in previous years, so I thought they were very cute. So I thought I'd get a little clip of them. But
They should meet.
That would be great if
Yeah,
they met.
that would be fun if they met.
But Market Street is, especially when you're there early, and there's some excitement from our good friend Jeremiah there. So our first stop was right at 7 o'clock. We wanted to see how the line was for the Seven Dwarfs, which were making their return first time in what, 5 years for the Dwarfs?
Since 2018. And I decided that I wanted to see if it's actually a 2-hour wait. I did not end up waiting. I waited first 10 minutes, and then I was like, I'll check during fireworks, which actually ended up being better for me.
So we decided instead of waiting for the dwarfs, we would go meet some characters, and here is the Red Queen.
Well, yeah, the Queen of Hearts here is one of a number of characters who meet as far as from Alice in Wonderland. You just saw Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and also I believe Alice and the Mad Hatter are meeting as well.
And I just wanted to keep the Tweedles in there because when you get in line, you are not really guaranteed one or the other. It just how it all kind of turns out. They alternate. So, but it's always fun to meet the Queen of Hearts. She's a great fun character to meet.
And in Disneyland Paris, like she usually meets with the
Tweedledee,
Tweedles, which is fun. So there's a lot of meet and greets, and some are more popular than others. Like it wasn't that these were unpopular, but compared to like Jack and Sally and the Seven Dwarfs, they were not bad.
Well, very early in the party, I decided to go. When you were checking out the situation with the dwarfs, I went for Mickey. Mickey only it said 15 minutes, but it was actually 0. I walked right in. I had 0 wait, and look at this. And here is the Big Cheese Mickey in his Halloween costume once again.
I don't remember ever having a 0 wait at the party. So like.
Well, I think there was so much crowd, so many people waiting for Jack and Sally that maybe people didn't notice that there was no line for Mickey. You know, there was somebody out there want to see Mickey. I'm like, absolutely, I do.
And a lot of people will probably be like, oh, well, I can see Mickey anytime. But Mickey is in his costume, his Halloween costume. So it was nice that you got to meet him. I was over by the Seven Dwarfs and I waited there like 10 minutes. I'm like,
if
this
you would
isn't
like
moving
to
at all.
meet Mickey, we have 2 more chances.
I might meet him, especially if there's a zero wait or like 5 or 10 minute wait.
So we decided to do a few trick-or-treat trails. I know you did more than me. New this year, they have these little shovels that they shovel the candy in.
It's a scoop.
Scoop.
It's not a shovel.
Oh, shovel sounds better. They'll scoop that candy in your bag.
Yeah, I don't know that like everybody made a big deal of it, and I noticed it.
That's an all new development. They used to have big handfuls. It's probably easier for the cast members to just scoop. We'll use scoop that candy in.
So the Monsters Inc La Flor this year has one candy barrel, I think, as far as
it used to have multiple
2 or 3
candy stations when you went through, but then again. This time, instead of just putting 1 or 2 pieces of candy, you got a scoop on the way in. So you're probably getting the same amount of candy.
But sometimes a scoop, like when I waited at Ariel's Grotto, which was very hot and humid, so I wouldn't, if it's a very hot evening, I would not go there early. And it was a long line. Like I got like 4 pieces of candy in a scoop. So
the scoop is no guarantee.
The scoop's not a guarantee. So, but that's okay. And I would also, if it's as hot, like you don't get the candy early because it all melted.
So as you can see, it is the Headless Horseman. Headless Horseman always kicks off the parade probably about 10 minutes before the official start time of the parade. So that would be for the first parade at 9:05. The parade starts at 9:15. And here he is from angle number 2.
And I was recording it from one area, and you went someplace else.
I wanted to
got
get
the other angle, the
multi-angle of the horseman.
And it's always nice to see him. It was. I have always used to say you should see the second parade because it's not crowded. Both parades were...
I would say the second was even more crowded.
And it wasn't that it was packed. Like, I don't know what Main Street looked like. We were in Town Square. It was not terrible for us. But both of them were busy. So I don't know what the next couple nights are going to be like. So it'll be interesting to see if that holds up where both are similarly busy.
And once again, we'll report back on how that goes. We'll monitor the next
We'll
couple parties.
monitor the situation.
But there were lots of changes in Mickey's Boo-to-You Parade this year, and the biggest change, the first major change is right here. This float used to be the gazebo float, but now we have this. This is sort of a float that would be in a cavalcade, and you have Mickey and you have Donald in their Halloween costumes. But you now have the addition of the Sanderson sisters with Minnie, Daisy, and of course your favorite Clarabelle Scrumptious.
And also at the back, we're going to probably see is Chip and Dale in their costumes that we're used to at Disney's Fort Wilderness.
Yes.
With the pirate and the like the Dracula or vampire costumes. Yeah.
But this was very popular. You know, it's nice that they have them up there kind of kicking off. They had to change the audio, of course, too. So lots of changes goes into just one change in the float.
It's not as good, though, to see the Sanderson sisters. You know, it's
right,
not as good
because they have
that
railing, which kind of gets in the way.
So we see, you know, there's lots of characters in
some different outfits in the pirate segment there.
Right. I mean, there's so many. It ends up being a lot of changes in here. We have Tinkerbell, and I didn't even remember if Tinkerbell was always in Mickey's Boo-to-You Halloween Parade.
I think Tinkerbell was always in it in this way. I know that debuted at the Pirate and Princess party.
And we saw her like that during when the pandemic, after the pandemic closure, they had the cavalcades, and she was always coming down Main Street in that.
We have Captain Barbossa there, always eating that apple. Every year he's got that apple going.
I didn't even think about that.
Right. And then you have Pirate Angelica there. And then you, of course, Jack Sparrow. And he is the captain, Capitan Jack.
Always a popular float.
And another float that debuted at the Pirate and Princess parties.
And that was a long time ago. That was back in the early 2000s. Like, I have an article from the Pirates and Princess party. It's
short-lived. It only
fun.
Lasted 3 different. They offered it 3 different times, but 2 seasons.
And here are the Gravediggers, and they are really. I think they are a fan favorite because they come and they,
They use so much energy doing this scraping act here, but it was so hot that day. Just watching the sweat. I mean, can you imagine having to do that for 2 parades? Around and around, scraping those things. And
I can't.
Those butler outfits.
I can't imagine doing.
All credit to those butlers.
I give credit to everybody who's in, who's in the parade.
Especially that night.
Right.
It was like 90 in the darkness.
Yes.
So it was very humid as well. Here is the Bride, which was new, I think in 2019.
Was it 2019? I was thinking it was a year or 2 ago, but. I would have to look. I looked up some dates.
Well, there were 2 years that 2020 and 2021 you didn't have the party. So I believe she came out in 2019.
Okay.
I think.
So here are the Hitchhiking Ghosts. And, of course, this is part of... I mean, we're already looking at the Haunted Mansion segment. I think this is the end of the Haunted Mansion segment now.
This is actually the Liberty Square. I didn't realize that the parade is actually all the different lands.
And I think I did know that last year, but you don't think about it for the year. Like here, it would be Frontierland, right?
With the Scarecrow, and these are brand new for this year. The Scarecrow performers,
right? And they used to have different performers. I don't want to say different performers, different costumes. And then also Goofy is on the back at the silo, and he has a different outfit as well. Well, he wasn't even part of Clarabelle was here in previous years.
That's right. And Clarabelle had only appeared in that new outfit a couple years, but now she's been upgraded as a Sanderson sister. Goofy for a long time had his candy company float.
Oh, right.
That he would be in, but then Vanellope took over that position.
Yeah,
so lots of changes.
This year is certainly a much more refreshed parade.
We have Horace. Horace, I believe, is a new addition as well with the Bears.
And that's possible. I don't remember every character from last year, and the previous years.
And Clara Cluck. Now, Clara Cluck always appears with her barn, and we even see this during different times of the year, including Easter. We last saw this in the Happy Easter Parade.
We met her at the Golden
That's right. She
once.
actually met for 1 season, I believe. And of course we have the pumpkins adorned on the barn. This is where Ralph from WreckIt Ralph would normally be. I don't know if he was just taking a little vacation on this day, but he didn't appear in either of the parades. We'll see tonight if Ralph returns to that truck. And we have the candy. What are they? The candy dancers.
Sugar racer dancers. Right?
Sugar racer.
I don't want to say dancers. Performers. I think that.
And there's Vanellope on the candy float.
Yes.
She better start pedaling. Yeah, there we go. Keep pedaling.
And I mean, Goofy's Candy Company is, there was a reason he was on there for Goofy's Candy Company.
Because it really exists at Disney Springs.
Right, and not only that, but also I think they still have the packages of candy.
Oh, that's right.
That say Goofy's Candy Company. And here is Ursula. And it's funny because I was like, I didn't think of her as new because we've seen her in Frightfully Fun Parade and also, let's see, in the After Hours event.
Oh, that's
also.
right.
So
that's right.
She herself as a character here is not new for us,
Flotsam
but for the
and Jetsam
parade.
too
Yes.
are new additions. Her evil pals there, and another new addition. We have this car, and it has
Jasper and Horace.
Jasper and Horace, and Cruella de Vil.
Yes, and this is now Cruella has been here for years in the parade in the villain section,
and she would be walking. She would be kind of walking with the other villains. This is perfect. It's really is a Cruella type car.
But they used to have a long time ago
the dog catching with the real Dalmatians, and that is the same. That is the vehicle that Ralph would have been on that we just saw. And this is new as well.
Right,
the Queen of Hearts and her cards.
Now, the Queen of Hearts is not new to the parade, but the cards are. So I thought it was fun that they added.
I love the cards.
Characters.
I think they're a great addition, excellent addition. One thing we don't have is the characters from the Pixar characters and the flying saucer. I guess that would have been the Tomorrowland section. I don't see it in the parade this year.
And here are, I don't know what they're called, but It's Good to Be Bad.
It's Good to Be Bad, yeah. The band.
For years I used to think that It's Good to Be Back.
No, It's Good to Be Bad. And this was actually part of a song, the Villains Mix and Mingle show that used to be in front of the castle at previous parties. Do you remember this part of the parade? They used to hand out candy. Also, remember?
Yes.
Like if you were watching the parade, you'd hold out your bag and you'd get candy.
But it was never the good candy, so it was fine that
it was Goofy Candy Company.
Yeah, it was
candy.
like it wasn't as good candy.
And we have Oogie Boogie. We have the Stepsisters, Gaston, a whole array. The bowler hat
guy.
Yeah,
I remember when he first arrived, and then Dr. Facilier, and just a really good selection of villains.
Oh, and I just noticed there is a Foul Fellow also in the back. So as the villains go by, and I think you did say in there Gideon, and they...
no, I didn't mention Gideon.
Yep,
so there's a lot.
Gideon too.
And Gideon, we see Gideon fairly often at Epcot meet and greets, when they do the pop-ups.
The surprise meet and greets.
And this has not changed. We have Jafar and Maleficent, and on the back, the Evil Queen.
I remember years ago they actually had Ursula on the back. Do you remember that? For a short time?
Vaguely, just very vaguely.
But it's still, it's very interesting, all the different changes. So I think the Boo to You parade this year is top notch. I think it's excellent. I like all the changes. And I'm looking forward to seeing if there's anything else tonight.
Well, we'll see.
What do you
we're
think?
only hours away.
How does it compare to you?
I enjoy when they refresh parades and such. Like you don't want to see the same thing year after year. So it was nice that this year, there were a few surprises and everything. So that was nice. So
now it is time to get over there to in front of the castle for the fireworks.
And I was in line for Grumpy and Dopey and everybody.
This is Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular. It's the fireworks. But not only are there fireworks, you have Jack Skellington in a giant, larger than life-size Jack Skellington puppet. So this is a very popular fireworks show to see close to the castle. Most fireworks shows, people are kind of behind the hub area. But this one, everyone wants to see Jack.
Yeah, and I mean, you still have a lot of guests who will be down Main Street and such.
Right.
But you got a great spot
last minute.
Last minute.
I was very fortunate to be able to get there. When it's only one, it wasn't too bad just to find a spot, and it wasn't overcrowded, so it kind of worked out really well. And thank you, by the way, for you kind of giving up the fireworks on this night to get our spot to see the dwarfs, and we'll make sure that you get a great spot tonight to see these fireworks, because it's a great fireworks show.
And I love it. And it debuted in 2019, and I just remember it was like, it replaced Hallowishes, which we both enjoyed, but this was like, wow.
And the projections are amazing here. You're seeing the skeletons, and you have the fireworks, of course, but excellent projections on this particular show.
And so Disney says about this: Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy are spirited away to a mysterious haunted house where they encounter dancing skeletons, which we've seen, and of course we're seeing Oogie Boogie there, ghosts, and a sinister gathering of Disney villains.
And this is the sinister gathering of Disney villains at the finale here.
You see Hades there. And it's just it's sort of like when Happily Ever After debuted, and you felt like it was like, wow, this is a very different show than Wishes. And, of course, this Not So Spooky Spectacular is so different than Hallowishes was. And I love the Jack Skellington, the puppet, although that one time we waited like a long time
that was the very first
one,
time we wanted
like
to see
an
it
hour
from
or two,
the
or
front
at
row.
least.
But Jack makes 2 appearances, so you do get to see plenty of the actual Jack and the fireworks. This to me is my favorite of all the fireworks now, the special fireworks that's offered.
Is that true?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like it better. I mean, the Christmas fireworks are very nice, but I prefer these. These are just spectacular.
Yes. And again, I'm looking forward to watching them tonight. And while you were there, I got in line it was a much shorter line for the Seven Dwarfs. And I was told about 40 minutes. It ended up being about an hour still, even though the line was much, much, much shorter. And so I'm just going to say, like, they have, and it's probably like this for a lot of the, I don't really know how the DAS pass works, but
that's new this year with the DAS.
Is that?
Yes.
So I didn't know if it was new in the app or totally new, but they have like their own line, like a standby line, but I think they get reservations to come back.
It's only certain meet and greets that is offered, but this is one of them.
So it may look like you have like 10 families in front of you, but in essence you might have 20 to 30 families in front of you. So you have to give a little extra time to what you think you might be waiting.
Definitely.
And of course for the families who are in line for the DAS Pass also, they have to wait also extra time because they're waiting for the standby, like me, to meet as well.
Right. They have a specific time to come back, but it doesn't guarantee instant access at that time.
We have a friend who had that, and I think he had to come back about 2 hours later, and then he probably stood in line.
Still waited in line. Right. So there's no instant way to meet any of the characters, no matter what situation you're in. Anyway, after all that, here they are, the return after 5 years of the Seven Dwarfs. What an awesome experience. I mean, to meet so many characters at once. This is the only place, I think, in the world where you can meet them.
I have never met the Seven Dwarfs together in any other location, and it's been 5 years since 2018. They have traditionally, previous to 2018 and earlier, they also met for the holidays.
And fun fact, Snow White used to meet with them many years ago at the parties,
and I totally forget. I don't even remember that. So I think that's very cool that they did.
I think we have a video of that.
Oh. Well, I'll have to look at our own videos.
Earlier videos. But even with just the Seven Dwarfs, they are fun. They're great. They all have their own individual character. If you talk to them, they'll kind of reference you in the character. So it's an excellent meet and greet, and it's worth the wait.
And also, air conditioned here.
Oh, delightfully
really
air conditioned. Nice and cold air in there.
I know you really needed it after the fireworks.
I was dying. Everybody was very happy to be in the air conditioning. So, that's another good point you have, to kind of space out the night and do some of these air conditioned things between hot outdoor activity on a hot night. Every night, as it moves more into the fall, it won't always be so hot.
I think the DAS line was outside mostly, though. So,
I think so.
I think that I don't know how long that the line lasted, though.
And now we are looking at the Hocus Pocus villain Spelltacular, which returns once again. And this was the midnight show. I literally appeared at the very last second. But fortunately, it wasn't overly crowded, and I was able to get a very good video, I think, of the show. So, and it was great to see it again. It's a really good show.
And I think when it debuted in 2015, it became really an instant classic. I enjoyed the previous show as well, but I think this really became such a popular show. Like, even the last showing on nights tends to be fairly busy.
Oh, you know what? It got us to watch the movie Hocus Pocus
It did.
and Hocus Pocus 2.
Did I see Hocus
You
Pocus?
did.
I didn't
You
even
did.
remember.
You absolutely, and I believe there is a Hocus Pocus 3 in the works. There is Mr. Oogie Boogie, who is a big part of the show.
So Disney says about Hocus Pocus villain Spelltacular, enlisting the help of Disney villains, and that includes Dr. Facilier, Oogie Boogie, and Maleficent. The sisters mix sinister shadows, terrifying nightmares, and use the nefarious powers of their frightening colleagues to conjure the ultimate Hocus Pocus party potion.
That means frightful friends, frightful
Frightfully,
friends,
yes.
and then so we're going to see all the frightful friends make their appearances right now. This is my favorite part of the show. Here's the evil queen with her apple.
And we also see Maleficent off to the left-hand side.
She is the one who is conjuring up all these frightful friends.
And I think this is probably my favorite part of the show as well, to see all the different characters.
And we just saw Hades on the castle earlier, but here's the real live Hades.
The live one. The one,
Yes.
a face character.
Right.
Which you don't see, I think, anywhere else.
Maleficent has got off her nice new vehicle from the parade.
Cruella.
Oh, correct. Cruella. I meant Cruella.
She's not going to be
No,
happy with
Maleficent.
you for that.
Yeah, Maleficent
We've
will not
already
want to hear
seen
that.
Maleficent's off
I
to the left.
apologized.
And Captain Hook, also a face character.
And he has his ticking clock. So they all have little items to add to the cauldron for
right.
the spell. So
For the
ticking
potion.
clock from him. Who is next? Oh, it's Jafar.
Again, face character. It would be nice to see, a lot of these villains as face characters for meet and greets in the
Absolutely.
park, I think.
I absolutely agree.
And we have Lady Tremaine. I don't even remember what she brought.
She doesn't really appear very often around here, although you can see her at Disneyland Paris.
She's in parades and such, but yeah, Disneyland
as a meet and
Paris.
greet. It's her daughters,
right?
Usually meeting.
But at Disneyland Paris, you see her quite often.
So anyway, we are looking at the finale of the show, and you'll see a little fireworks to end it, but. Again, a great show. I would recommend the midnight show if you can handle staying up. I think that's the one to go to. Much less busy.
But still busier than it used to be. Like late nights, I used to tell everybody, oh, wait until the end of night, and then you can enjoy walking out. There's nobody there. But there are, everybody, like a lot of guests linger now. And it used to be like so many would leave after the first parade and so many would leave after the fireworks. And it wasn't quite to that extent on the first night. So we'll see what the next couple nights are like.
And here you're looking at some of the decorations on Main Street as we make
and
our
such.
way out of the party. This was probably getting to be a little after 1 a.m.
It was really late.
I would recommend if you want to take the monorail, it stops at 1, so make sure you walk out of here. See you real soon. Make sure you see real soon before 1 if you want that monorail. Otherwise, you're going to walk or take a bus.
And there's still a lot for us to see that we haven't seen yet.
So much. The photo pass, all sorts of new photo passes. Of course, we're going to try some treats.
Yeah.
There's a lot more. Jack and Sally we didn't get to meet this time. So there's a lot
Elvis
to do.
Stitch.
And Elvis Stitch, exactly. So we're going to be very busy.
Stitch.
2 more parties, 10 more hours of not so
well,
scary
it's a little
goodness.
more than 10 hours.
And also on the very way out, we noticed the monorail had a new little Halloween lighting package going. So that was a nice fun addition.
It was, a lot of fun, surprises, especially in Mickey's Voodoo Halloween Parade. But, walking out and seeing this with the monorail was very cool.
So once again, that is a wrap on night number 1, opening night of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. We want to thank our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
Head to their site for a no-obligation quote And like right now, you can still get tickets for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party for many nights, although they're starting to really sell out at this
August
point.
is fully sold out, and quite a few events in September are now sold out. It's
So-
about half of September.
Right. So if you're looking for fall travel, this is a really good time now if you haven't made plans yet, because you still have also the Food and Wine Festival, Epcot
right.
Food and Wine Festival, and a lot
Hopefully
going
a little
on.
cooler weather by then.
Right. Well, especially once you get into like October. October is such a great time to come to Walt Disney World. And also in November as well. But then you're heading into Christmas. So
Merry Christmas!
yes, we're not that far. It's hard to believe it doesn't feel like Halloween yet.
Well, it kind of does. I mean, all the music, all the the pageantry, the party atmosphere. But we have a lot more Halloween to come. We have Oogie Boogie Bashes. We still have more, obviously, of Halloween around here at Walt Disney World, and then Disneyland Paris Halloween.
Right.
So we will be in full Halloween
We're going to
mode
be
for
kicking.
months.
We're going to be kicking off so much Halloween.
But we'll be ready for, by the time we're done with Halloween, we'll be very ready for Christmas. So anyway, thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.